In this video, we'll be looking at the internal division of a line segment, right? So if I have a point P x1, y1 and P x2, y2, and then a line PXY that divides this line into two parts, right? So we have this and we have this, right? So these are two ratios. Now, we're going to look at how we can solve problems involving finding the coordinate of the point that divides the line internally into two ratios. So having said this, let's move straight to the formula. So the point PXY would be equal to M1 x2 plus M2 x1 over M1 plus M2, comma, M1 y2 plus M2 y1 over M1 plus M2, right? So this is the coordinate of this point. Now let's look at some examples. Example 1. Find the coordinates of the point that divides the line segments joining 1, 2, and 4, 6 in the ratio 2:1 internally. So let's see how we can solve this question. Solution. All right, so we have that the coordinate of that point PXY will be equal to M1 x2 plus M2 x1 over M1 plus M2, and we have M1 y2 plus M2 y1 over M1 plus M2. Now from the question, we have that our x1 is equals to 1, x2 is 4, y1 is 2, y2 is 6, and it says in the ratio 2:1. So M1 is 2, M2 is 1. So what we simply do here is to substitute the values into the formula. So points PXY will be equals to M1 is 2, X2 is 4, plus M2 is 1, and X1 is 1 over M1 is what? 2, and M2 is what? 1, right? So here we have M1 is 2, and then Y2 is 6, plus M2 is 1, Y1 is 2, and we have 2 plus 1. So when you solve this, you have 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 times 1 is 1, over 2 plus 1 is 3, and we have 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 times 2 is 2, over 3. So we now have 9 over 3, and we have 12 plus 2, 14 over 3. So the coordinate of this point that divides the line would be 3 and 14 over 3. Example 2 says, if the point 2, 3 divides the segments from 1, 1 to K 5 in the ratio 1:2, find K. So if I'm to draw this out, draw the line out, assuming this is the point, this is the line, right? And then here is going to be P1, 1, and here is going to be PK5, right? Now, we have a point that divides this line in the ratio 1:2. So if I mark the point out here, it means that the length from this side to this side is twice this side, right? So this is 1:2, right? So now the coordinate of this point from the question is given as what? 2, 3. Now let's write out the formula so we can get the value of k. So the formula says pxy is what? m1x2 plus m2x1 over m1 plus m2, and we have m1y2 plus m2y1 over m1 plus m2, right? So now this is x1, right? And then this is what? X2. So we'll use the part that has to do with what? X2. So now if you observe, x is equals to this and y is equals to this. So we can say that x is equals to what? m1 x2 plus m2 x1 over m1 plus m2. And then from the question, we know that x1 is 1, x2 is what? K, we try to find. m1 is what? 1, right? And then m2 is what? 2. And also we have x is what? 2 from the question. X is 2. So with this, you can solve for the value of k. So we have that 2 is equals to m1 is what? 1. x2 is k. And we have m2 is 2. x1 is 1. And we have m1 plus m2 as 1 plus 2. So 2 is equals to k plus 2 over 3. So if I cross multiply, I have 2 times 3 is equals to k plus 2. So we have k plus 2 is equals to 6. And if I make k the subject of the formula, I have 6 minus 2, and k is equals to 4. So that point is going to be P4, 5. So that's the answer.